Well, it will, Rev, because we've seen already from House Republicans and Kevin McCarthy who have made a point to go to the border and use the border as a political backdrop. You know, the one consistent issue that Republicans have been united behind for more than a decade now is the issue of immigration. It's something that always excites their base. I mean, remember, Donald Trump got elected on the promise of building a wall and made his campaign almost exclusively about the border and immigration. And so Republicans will continue to return to that playbook because it's one of the only areas that they're actually unified. And as you know, we're talking about Kevin McCarthy having this narrow majority, even if he gets to be speaker, he's going to be one of the weakest speakers perhaps that we've ever had. He's going to look to that issue as a crutch to try to satisfy the most extreme elements in his party who are right now holding his position hostage. And so the onus is now going to be, I think, on the White House and Democrats to point out that, listen, Republicans took back the House. They talk about all these political theatrics. Where are their solutions? What is their answer? Where's more funding for the border? What are they going to do now that they control one of the two houses of Congress to provide solutions? Because you just can't go forward with platitudes and rhetoric and attacks and not offer a solution. That's not the promise Republicans made to voters, so it's going to be their time to step up.
President Biden is planning to deliver a speech on his administration's accomplishments this week. The address is expected to include a call for unity and bipartisanship. What would you like to hear from the president as we head into a new year of a divided government? Kurt, you go first briefly, and then Brendan.
Well, I think it starts with talking about the historic successes that President Biden and Democrats in Congress have delivered to the American people. We need to do a better job, I think, at times of taking credit for the things that we've gotten done. So much of the year was spent talking about, Democrats in disarray. Why can't they get stuff done? And then in a short amount of time, we saw a flurry of legislative activity that's going to make a real difference in American people's lives. I think President Biden needs to make that point and make that contrast that as Republicans are out there talking about conspiracy theories, lining up behind Donald Trump and his anti-democratic postures and coming off the heels of what we're going to hear from the January 6th committee, Democrats actually delivered. They made Infrastructure Week not a political punchline. They made it a reality. They got the Inflation Reduction Act done. They got the CHIPS bill done. They got the largest funding for climate change in history. That's the story that Republicans have no answer for. And I think President Biden can put himself on the right side of this conversation going forward, challenging Republicans to match up and actually try to get a solution passed in the House.